There is a space in my heart where I find the truth. I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. I see with new eyes, allow and unfold, embrace and let go, trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Breathe in and out, slowly feel all that's around you, all that you feel, all that you know. Let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. Yeah, when we unite. Oh, we unite. Yeah, yeah, when we unite. Yeah, yeah. You are welcome here. Love is welcome here. Peace is welcome here. You are welcome here.
Yes, yes, yes. We are here. We are back. We are black. We are strong. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and good day to you, wherever you are at this very moment in time. Thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in to yourself first, because that's very important. You got to tune into yourself first. And when you tune into yourself, you make yourself available. It actually gives you an opportunity to know what you're available for. If you're disconnected from yourself because you didn't tune into yourself, then it might be a little bit on the messy side. And as you tune in, You get to listen to what is true. Just want to make sure that we got sound on all platforms. Let's go back here. When you tune in and you listen, you create the perfect space, the perfect place for transformation. That's what it's all about. Good. So we're good. That's what it's about. Transformation. Thank you. I am Ade, your transformational beingness artist. Welcome to another episode of Ade Presents, bringing you the podcast, The Journey Back to Yourself. If you're on IG, Facebook, YouTube, however you're watching this, whether you're watching it live, the archive, replay, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for saying yes. And because you're here, because you're listening, because you're watching, something led you here. Maybe you're a regular listener. Maybe somebody that you know and care about had you listen. Or you don't even know who the person is next to you listening to it out loud, but somehow you're hearing something that caught your attention. Well, you're meant to be here. Hey, New Jace. So I invite you to like and share this broadcast. Share it, start a conversation. The topic, the title, the conversation today is around life as a spiritual gym. And you can't go into that gym. I mean, you're already in the gym anyway. We've got some noisy thing going on over here. You can't go, well, you can go in the gym without focusing, without being present, but it makes a difference when you wake up, when you show up, when you step into the gym, whether it's a physical building or just waking up. It's important to kind of connect with what is true. There are many ways to do that. And there's an affirmation that I give you every week. I am present. I am here. I am now. I am present. I am here. And I am now. You are that. You are that place where the divine, where God gets to represent itself. You are that place where God gets to deliver itself. You are that place where you get to know who you are, who and what you belong to. You are that place where your gifts, your talents, your skills are expressed. When you come back to you, when you remember that you're present, you're here right now, you're exactly where you need to be, and really take it on board that you're here. You can't be anywhere else but here, whether you like what's happening or not, whether you wish you're somewhere else. The truth is, you are here. When you can sit with that, whether you like it or not, it's not even about that. Just take a moment that you're present. And if you were not present, now you can bring yourself present. Like, okay, take a deep breath and claim it and accept it that I'm present, that I'm here, and I'm now. It's a simple affirmation, yet powerful affirmation, and it's important. If that doesn't work for you, find one that works for you. There are a lot of things going on right now. There's a lot of conversation, stories, movies, documentaries, news stuff that's happening. There's some things that are happening on the planet, whether it's linked to the weather, climate change, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of things happening that it may not be happening where you are. It may not be happening in your family, in your neighborhood, but trust me, you're feeling it on a deeper level because you're not separated from it. See, we already live in a spiritual gym. So we can say, I don't feel like working out today. And life is like, okay, fine. Ow. Sometimes it's a love tap. Like, oh, thank you. That feels, I just needed that adjustment. And sometimes it hurts. But we are here to show up. We're here to show out. We're here because we made an agreement. We're here because we have something to deliver. We're here to reveal the face of God. And when we get in alignment, it's not always easy. Sometimes you got to do all sorts of processes and go through retreats and workshops and listen to podcasts and counseling session, therapy, coaching session to really get clear. This spiritual journey, the spiritual gym, is really an opportunity to return you back to yourself. Being here, the podcast is a journey back to yourself. Hey, Wendy, how are you? Long time no see. It's a journey back to yourself. Anyway, this is season 4, episode 28. Today's Tuesday, August 2nd, 2022. This is where we invite you to ask yourself deeper questions. You can ask these questions, you can ask another question. The point is to tap in, to tune in, to listen, to remember who you are, to know who you are. When you know who you are, you can navigate life differently. And these kind of questions will help you get clear about you. How do I see myself? Like, you get to ask yourself those questions. The questions I'm going to give you. How do you see yourself? How do you see the world? How do you see yourself in the world? And how do you see the world in you? So interesting. Don't want to go there yet? Yeah, I'm feeling it. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, actually, a friend of mine that you all know. Prophetess Mary. And we were just talking about different things, some things that I'm moving through, growing through. And she was like, ministry is hard. So to back up, the whole idea, it's not ministry. There are things like when we say pray, have faith, ministry, even the word preach is often associated to just Christianity. But it's those things show up differently. So we were talking about how ministry doesn't come just under that umbrella, that individually you have to figure out if you're doing what you're doing, whatever that is, whether it's a 9 to 5 or you're living your passion, if you're doing it for God or you're doing it for yourself, or are you doing it because you know you have something to give, that you have so much inside of you, that you are successful, that you want to release it. Whatever you're doing, that's your ministry. You hear people say, that's not my ministry. What are you passionate about? What do you care about? And how you do it, you got to ask yourself, if you're doing it because how you look, how you want people to see you, or you're doing it because you want to express yourself. You have gifts and talent that you want to reveal to the world. Why? Not necessarily because the world needs it, but because that's what you came here to do. A postman, a postwoman, mailman, they deliver the message. Now they doing it because, for the most part, they're trying to earn a living, if you will. They don't care what the message is. They don't care if you want, like over here, I get so many letters, just it's not even mine. And when I went online to kind of stop it, actually, I think I spoke to the postman. It's a man. He said, well, we don't deliver to people. We deliver to the address. So it doesn't matter what name is on that. They don't care. It's that address. So every time they send me the, if I get something that's not mine, I got to return it back to sender. So they're not caught up saying, I don't think that person lives there. So they're delivering the message because that's what they're meant to do. The same thing applies for us. Delivering the message because that's what you came here to do. You're like a cell in the body of humanity. The cells in your body, they have a function. They have intelligence. They know what they're supposed to do. And they're multi-intelligent. You can move part of, doctors, surgeons, they could take parts of your skin and graft it somewhere else. The body, that's a whole different show by itself. But every cell has an intelligence, and so do you. And the brain cell is doing what it needs to do for the brain to be what it needs to be. You, as a cell in the human body, are here to do what you need to do so the human body can show up as it wants to, needs to, desires to be so much more. So that's why I said it's not so much because you need to, it's because this is just what you came here to do, to deliver the message. What is your message? You want to call it? People say, well, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know why I'm here. Well, sometimes you can sit with not knowing, which will eventually lead you to knowing. Hey, Kwali. Oh, thank you, Kwali, for reminding me. I almost forgot, actually. First of all, the first thing I want to say to you, Kwali, even though you reminded me of something that you don't even know what you're reminding me of. But I want to say happy birthday to you. Happy belated birthday to you. And you've been listening regularly, so you'll know I'm going somewhere with this. Or if you forgot, you might say, it's not my birthday. Yes, it was. Your birthday was yesterday, right? Because your daughter's birthday, when she showed up, her parents' day was yesterday. So it's really your birth. She just showed up. So every time parents share about the story of their children celebrating their birthday, I extend the greetings to the parents too. To both the mother and the father, but especially the mother. Yes, that's what I'm saying. You know the deal. It was your birthday too. All right. Today's title, Love is a Spiritual Gym. Oh, I almost forgot what Quali reminded me of. So, I got some news. You may call it good, or you may call it bad. You may be excited, or you may be sad. However you feel is how you feel. You get to decide, based on what you're feeling, what you're going to do. Rev D is not going to be here. She's not going to be here. Yes, Quali, she birthed you into motherhood. There you go. That's exactly it. Rev D's not here. I got a message yesterday. She had to go to a meeting that was important this morning. But she will be here next week. So if you're sad, it's okay. Put your head on my shoulders. Lay your head on my... No, don't lay your head on my pillow. That's VIP. You can lay my head on my shoulder for a little bit, and it's going to be okay. And hopefully you enjoy being here, especially if you came to listen to Rev D. You're like, where's Rev D, man? Stop talking. Or maybe you're saying, I'm looking forward to Rev D, but I love what he's saying. Wherever you are, it is what it is. I'm feeling sort of chill today. But there are times when I've done the show and people say to me, well, I've had one person recently say to me, oh my God, you're on fire. I'm like, really? So I'm not always a good measure, I guess. Can't even think. Going through some shifts, there's a lot going on. And I really believe that life is calling us to pay attention. And life has a way of getting our attention. Sometimes we're forced to listen. Sometimes we do it willingly. Sometimes we do it intentionally. And I really believe that collectively, it's unprecedented times, but we're going through, really, that's what unprecedented. We're going through a time that human beings have never experienced. That's unprecedented times, yes? But it's one thing to read about a time that was unprecedented and say, wow, that must have been amazing or interesting or challenging or hard or difficult or awesome or whatever. But it's another thing to be living that. I really... Thank you, Corley. Corley said, ain't nobody leaving you, Ade. Stop playing. She said, so much so I'm going to be on Facebook and I'm going to be on IG. We are going through and growing through a process of dying. And in a dying process, you can't have death without birth. Speaking of birth and dying. And I even think that even our physical birthing process, We die to the invisible realm to be birthed onto the physical realm. There's a part of us that has to that ended. There's a part of us that stays awake, that's still connected to us, right? But we're going through some really, really, really challenging times. And this is not something to make us, I mean, I don't know if I can make you feel any more heavier than you are feeling. We all feel it. Sometimes we make it personal. We say, I'm saying all, generally speaking. So everything I say, and when it's not general, I'll personalize it. I would take it down a notch. But we know people. We are feeling like, what is going on? People are questioning what they're doing, want to do something different, praying for something different. And we often, we easily get distracted by how that uneasiness is showing up. It shows up through politics. It shows up through the weather. It shows up in our jobs. It shows up maybe in our finances, in our relationships. Sometimes it can show up as you going to a store, buying something, giving, to tell you how much it is, you give cash, some of it in cash, and you use your card to pay the rest. But then they charge you the whole thing on a card. And you're like, and you don't find out till you get home. And then you get home, it's like, I got to go back to the store to get it rectified. But it is what it is. It is what it is, but we're all being stretched. And one thing I really believe, I know for me, it's like, we got to pay attention. And in order to move with it, to grow with it, we got to do things differently. We got to give ourselves the opportunity to try something different, to do something different, and break out of, yeah, well, that's just not my thing. Oh, I don't know if I got it. Well, now, having said that, it is very, very important to check in with your guidance, to check in with what the divine is telling you to do, what your soul is telling you to do. Because for some of us, it might be to just slow down, to chill the flip down, listen, spend more time being quiet, even though you got things to do. For some of us, it's like, get your behind up and get to stepping. Sometimes it could be, rather than being the one that leads, to step into the place of following. And leadering, that's a good one. Leading and following, none of it is better. You get people saying, I'm always going to be the leader, not the follower. Well, if you're the leader, you need followers for you to step into that place. Without a follower, then you're not really a leader. Who are you leading? Yourself. Yep, we also say in the New Thought community, metaphysical community, New Age, yeah, well, it's only you, you're only leading yourself. Yes, but what you do or don't do is affecting, has an influence of other people. So it's a time to wake up, to do things differently, and surrender to vision. This is a time to really understand and ask questions. What is my vision? What is God's vision for my life? What is the vision that wants to pull me? What is the vision that's pulling me? Pain pushes until vision pulls. So if we're allowing pain to push us, it's going to be a painful journey. If we surrender to the vision to pull us, there might be some times where it's painful. But because we're being pulled by vision, the pain, the intensity of the pain might be different. Or even if it's not, because you're being pulled by a vision, you're very clear. So your interpretation of the pain is different. If you're just being pushed by pain, you might be judging everybody. Quality's jumping all over the place on IG. Hey, Ashley, nice to see you. If you're just being pushed by pain, you start buying into the narrative. You start feeling you're helpless. You start to feel like there's nothing. What's the point? But when you are being pulled by a vision, you may be at the same time feeling pain, and you may even feel like the pain that you're experiencing is caused by somebody else. But if your attention is on the vision, after a while you recognize, oh no, this pain is part of, it's giving me the opportunity, the pressure, it's pushing me in the direction of my vision. Pain pushes until vision pulls. What's your vision? What's your vision? Ashley said on IG, like swimming along with the current rather than in the opposite direction. Yes. Yes, which is a good way to segue into today's conversation about life being a spiritual gym. Because sometimes we need to swim against the current. Because swimming against the current sometimes help you develop the muscle. It develops your muscles. Resistance. Oh, I'm feeling some resistance. I don't know why I'm feeling resistance. It's okay. Because you need resistance to grow you. Sometimes you need resistance to help you appreciate the flow. Swimming along with the ocean. Resistance helps you see things differently. There is no spot where God is not. So, life is a spiritual gym. And you already signed up for it, whether you know it or not. So you might as well start breathing and show up. Show up. Like a gym, a regular gym, you sign up. You say, I'm ready to do things differently. And there are many reasons why people sign up to be in a gym. I need to make some adjustments here. I love technology, but when technology is doing what it's doing, it helps me breathe and push. So yes, when people sign up for a gym, it's often because they've been thinking about it. They've been deciding, thinking, analyzing. They decided that they want something different. And when you decide that you want something different and you're really serious about the difference that you say you want, so you decide, then you take action. Action when it comes to being a member of a gym is going actually signing up, paying the money. Whatever caused you to decide to join the gym is important. If the impulse lacks a deep intention, for example, if you decide to join a gym because you're trying to fit in, because you're trying to impress your partner, or because somebody in your family looks a certain way and you want to look like them, now it could lead you to the truth. It could lead you to where your soul wants you to be. And it could be a bit more challenging. It could be a little bit more challenging because the intention is based on comparison, is based on trying to look better than somebody else or better like somebody else. But when the decision comes from you sitting with yourself, being with yourself, getting clear with yourself, like, I want to do things differently. Why? Because I want to be healthy. Because there's some pains that I'm feeling that don't need to be. I want to develop my core. I feel my body, I'm feeling sluggish, I don't sleep well. When that's what's motivating you, and you are the field, oh yeah, it's a different conversation. Because when it comes time to give up, when you find yourself saying, oh, I don't feel like it today, and you remember your why, oh yeah, you get up. People's why comes in different ways. Like I said, maybe because exercising help you sleeping. They want to be more healthy, mental clarity, strengthen the core. And you got to keep showing up. So there's a sort of discipline that comes with that. And you don't have to do it alone because you can get a physical, I want to say physical fitness, not a fitness trainer. Dave, that's the word I was looking for. A fitness trainer to support you. You learn what you need to do to maintain your body, to get clear about what you need for your weight, your body, what you can take, what is too much, how you develop strengthen your leg muscles, your upper body muscles, your abs. You don't necessarily just go in there and pick up all kind of different instruments. You say, oh, there's an equipment right there. That looks good. I'm gonna pick that up. Your body will tell you, oh no, you're not. You think you are, but you're not. Sometimes, depending on where you are, you got to start gradual. Maybe it's on a treadmill. Maybe treadmill for 30 days. And then maybe every now and then you lift weight, and there's somebody next to you who's been in the gym. They literally live in there like, and they're pumping, and they look smaller than you, younger than you, or whatever the case may be. Maybe they're the same. You think because you're a woman, then you can't lift something that heavy, and they're going there, they're lifting that crap. Or maybe you're a man, and you're like, oh my God, I'm feeling intimidated. When you remember why you're doing what you're doing, you can take your attention off other people. And the same thing is true for life itself. One thing I'm very clear about, life as a spiritual gym, we're literally born into it. Now you can go through the spiritual gym and just doing any and everything that you want to do, however you want to do it. But you will always have an opportunity to live an equipment that sometimes you may feel like you weren't ready for, don't feel like you have the strength for. However, hey Ananda, happy Tuesday to you too. However, when you're very clear of what you're here to deliver, when you know that you want to strengthen your core, your spiritual core, when you want to work in alignment with your spiritual body, your emotional body, your mental body, your physical body, because you're making a choice to live life fully, to get the best out of life. Sometimes people say, well, I'm doing this so I can have a long life. I don't know. I don't know if you really know if going to the gym gives you a longer life. Maybe it does. How do we know? Maybe you have some, how can you prove that? There's some things we won't know, because life itself, it's just when you think you got it, you realize there's more. And sometimes we just have to be okay with not knowing. So in the spiritual gym of life, one of the tools is being okay with what not knowing. Because what that does, you don't always have to know everything. When you're okay with not knowing, you're taking care of your stress level. If you're showing up for a meeting, if you're showing up to meet somebody, whether it's a first time dating somebody, first time, you feel like you have to have all this information. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of stress by default. Going to a meeting that you probably don't want to go to, or maybe you got some things you need to work on, but you need to stop now. Meetings sometimes just have this negative energy, like, oh, I got to go to a meeting. There's stress, just daily living stress. But when you now say to yourself, you have to have all the answers, or you have to know everything you're doing, that's just too much stress. So allowing yourself to pick up the spiritual equipment called living in the not know, that's one way to reduce your stress level. Reduce your stress level by trusting in something more than your logical mind. The fitness trainers of life, they show up in different ways. They show up as friends, they show up as strangers, they show up as family members, they show up as brother-in-laws, sister-in-laws, mother-in-laws, father-in-law. They show up in different ways, and they will keep telling you in their own way to keep pushing and keep breathing. The thing about being in a in this spiritual gym called life, you get to choose how you want to engage. I got some things that I wrote earlier. Life is a gym, and you will constantly you will always have opportunities to grow. So let's talk about building your spiritual core where you can feel like, yeah, I can stand, I'm grounded. Spiritual practice. Spiritual practice is one of those tools you can use, which requires discipline. Spiritual practice is not the process of mastery where you're trying to attain something and say, I've done that. Rev D often remind us like mastery is not something about, yeah, you've done it one time and then you're there. It's something you keep doing over and over and over and over and over because every day is a new day. Spiritual practice. Do you have a spiritual practice? And especially if you're one of those people, hello, I don't know who that is. I'll come to that in a minute. If you're one of those people who are complaining, can't seem to understand what's going on in the world, you're complaining about what's going on in your family, you're complaining or you're tired, exhausted, don't understand why what is happening. Well, you need to discipline yourself to give the qualities, the spiritual qualities within you, to give them a space to cultivate them. You need a spiritual practice. If you don't have a spiritual practice, you're the reason you're experiencing what you're experiencing. Chew on that for a minute. So, I don't know this. Okay, somebody is on Facebook. I don't know if you're watching through the Life Coach Ade page because I did something different this time. Facebook is changing stuff. So I'm not broadcasting necessarily through the Being You podcast. So if you're the one that just said, hi, Ade, blessings, Ade, I don't know who you are because all it's showing is showing Facebook user. Now, there is a way to do that. I can't remember. So it's either, I think you go to facebook.com/StreamYard. If you're, well, you may be on my profile page because that's happened before too. I don't know why. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. So you can go to, or just tell me who you are. Say your name. Say your name. Say your name. So StreamYard.com/Facebook or Facebook.com/Linda Love. Linda Love. Linda Love. I know you and you know me. Are we connected on Facebook? Yeah, you tell me. So, spiritual practice. My computer's been giving me some interesting experience. Talk about being in the gym. That's why I started a little bit late today because my computer was like, you need to give me 10. You need to give me more. All right. Patience is also a tool you can use because right now I'm like, come on, patience. We'll come to that. Well, let me talk about it while I'm on it. Patience is another tool. They say patience is a virtue. Some people say, yeah, I don't have it. That's a lie. If you're one of those people who say, I don't have patience, you're lying to yourself. You're actually, you're punking out of your responsibility to show up. We all have patience. You may need to cultivate it. I remember a quote that says, God give me patience, but give it to me now. Patience is a spiritual practice. No, it's a spiritual quality that needs to be cultivated. And if you're one of those people saying, I don't have patience, life will continue to challenge you to keep pushing and breathing and exercising your patience muscle. It's a choice. It's a choice. And the way you develop patience is being in the midst of things that you can't control and trusting that all is well. Now, I'm not going to tell you that during those repetitions of trying to be patient, it's like, can't. And life tells you you can, that you may not feel like, I want to put it down, like, I can't do this. But every moment, every time you get a chance to ask yourself, do I just want to escape this? Do I just want to drop this and move forward? Or do I want to use this opportunity to grow, to develop that patience muscle? I'm telling you, my computer, I refreshed it because I like to do it, make sure it's ready. I did it way early. And it came back on. And then just like 15 minutes before the show, it won't act right. I can feel myself wanting to start speaking a different language. Well, actually, I did use a big word that I'm not going to use right now. It's like, what the? And then I said, okay, I'm trusting the process. It made me start late. But for me, what I had to look at is starting late. What do I make that mean? What is the narrative? What is the story that I tell myself? In the past, it used to be like, I kind of did hear it. Like, people think, why can't you start late? He's inconsistent. He needs to have a backup, just stories. But probably nobody's thinking that. And even if other people are thinking that, what does it really matter? What matters is what I'm thinking. And because I was thinking what I think people are thinking, that's the thought I need to address. Did you follow? I may be thinking what I think people are thinking about what I'm doing or not doing. It really doesn't matter what they're thinking. What matters is my thoughts about what I think people are thinking about me. How do I feel about that? That's something I can control. So when I pull it back, it's like, okay, the computer is moving slow, so be it. I get to exercise my muscle, that patience muscle. And with the phase and the shift and the changes that we're going through right now, we need to develop the patient muscles, the patience to let the divine guide us. It's like, okay, Spirit, I don't see it. I don't know how. This is challenging. I had another experience right now. I'm just thinking about it. I had another experience I'll say it like this, in a group. And somebody who I believe and other people in the group believe have some information that we need keeps coming back saying, I don't have any information. Why don't y'all come up with the information? And like 30 minutes before the show, the person posted in there and said the same thing. And I felt myself getting annoyed. And then I have to remind myself, it's okay. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. I don't need to always feel like I need to fix somebody, correct somebody, tell somebody how to do what they need to do. But that self-compassion is for me to say, self-compassion is like, it's okay. It's all in divine order, because it really is. It's in divine order. Meditation is another tool you can use in this spiritual gym called life. Meditation builds your endurance, your ability to be at peace, to be centered in the midst of chaos. Meditation. Because if you, on a daily basis, on a regular basis, give yourself permission to sit still and be quiet, with all the thoughts that are flying around, maybe you're hearing the cars on the outside and you can just sit. Maybe you find yourself thinking, my thoughts are just driving me crazy. I can't be still. I'm not doing it right. But you can just come back to your breath. There are many techniques out there, but this is a simpler one. Come back to your breath, even in the midst of the noise in your mind, and just sit for 10 minutes. That's a way to develop your endurance. Because the thoughts that are running around, the mental chatter, become an example of what's going on in the world sometimes that you can't control. But when you're out there in the world, when you're at your job, when you're with your family members, when you're with your children, when your business ain't going the way you want it to go, can you be in the midst of all that's not going the way you want it to go and still find a way to anchor to your center? to anchor in your truth, to trust the process. Exercise helps you sleep better. Well, here's a spiritual tool to help you sleep better. Forgiveness. Forgiveness helps you sleep better. It reduces stress mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I haven't talked about forgiveness in a long time I don't know why, but it really doesn't matter. Do you have what it takes to forgive? The answer is yes. We all do. We have what it takes to forgive. Do you have what it takes to forgive yourself? We all do. The question is, are you going to do it? Do you have what it takes to forgive other people? Or are you using forgiveness as a spiritual bypass? Don't worry. You can do all the bypassing that you want. Life's got you. Because wherever you're feeling imbalance, life will always support you to find balance in it. But forgiveness, it's a choice, like love. All the spiritual qualities really is a choice. It's a choice to live it. It's a choice to express it. It's a choice to put in action. You can say, I can't do it. I don't feel like doing it. But the spiritual qualities are just what they are. But when you do decide to apply them, when you do decide to live aligned with the spiritual qualities, it changes you. What are you holding on to? There's so many things going around in my head right now. I'm trying to see, trying to see which analogy I want to use. Let's go there. Are you willing? Oh, Jesus. Okay. Like Rev D would say, somebody's going to be pissed. Someone's going to be upset. Somebody's going to log off. Are you willing to forgive white supremacy? I'm generalizing, so I'm going to say this. Are you willing to forgive white people? Are you willing to forgive white people? Are you willing to forgive police officers who took other people's life, black people's life, their life because they can? I know that's kind of heavy, but it's a good way to know where you are. And it's good to say, now, I'm hearing another friend of mine in my head say, nope. And I'm not talking about the movie. Nope. See, there is a difference in saying nope and I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet is actually quite powerful. Nope stresses you out. Nope makes you rigid. Because that energy of nope makes you hard. Then you can't sleep at night. Then you having all kind of dis-ease. You coming across all kind of issues at work. Forgiveness. Are you willing to forgive your ex? Are you willing to forgive your neighbor? Forgiveness is really, I heard this definition many years ago, and you guys may have heard it, those of you who listen to Oprah. I heard Oprah had a guest. It was a man. I can't remember what happened, but when he shared his definition of forgiveness, Oprah was like, wow, and she used it many, many years. So I'm not saying something that's new, but it may be new to you. Forgiveness is giving up, what is it? I'm going to paraphrase it. It's a choice to give up the idea that the past could have been different. Forgiveness is giving up the idea that what happened in the past, what happened to you, what was done to you, what was done to you as a race of people, what was done to you as a family members, what was done to your ancestors, what the government did, whatever it is you're struggling to forgive, that giving up that idea that could have been different. The idea that, no, it shouldn't have been that way. You're willing to just give that up. That it was that way. It is. what it is. That's what happened. When we refuse to accept that what happened is what happened, I don't know. I don't want to go through needed to happen. I mean, to some level, maybe. But we don't even need to do that because that could be hard. What happened is what happened. And we can think and feel like it should have been different, but are you willing to give that up? Are you willing to give up the idea that it should have been different? Because when you're not willing to give up the fact that what happened should have been different, could have been different, should be different, you're stuck. You can't lift. You can't show up. You can't sleep. You're angry. You're pissed. You got pain in your back, pain in your neck, pain in your butt, pain all over. Everybody else becomes the problem. A spiritual path, a conscious spiritual path is really a selfish thing. Being of service is a selfish thing. I remember doing a show one time many years ago, and I called it Being of Service is a Selfish Act. And somebody sent me a message. I don't like the title of your show. The audacity to tell me. But you know what? I knew that was going to trigger. I mean, for me, even when it came through and I heard it, I was like, I know it's true. But there was a part of me that was resistant. There was a part of me that was resistant to like, ooh, that's going to be hard. And it's true. Being of service, being kind, being loving, if you really think about it, it's a selfish act. You're doing it for you. I know selfish has a negative connotation, but I'm not even going to go into that. You're doing it for you to feel good. You're doing it because you know it's going to make you feel good. You say, well, I want to do it because, they need my help. Well, if you didn't help them, you might feel like, oh, that was, I should have really helped. Then you don't feel good. But when you help somebody because you think they need the help, you feel good. And you don't even know if they felt good, if they feel good. Even if they said, oh, thank you very much. God bless you. God bless you. There is a God. Sometimes we just say stuff. They might walk away saying, I don't know who asked that mother, father, God being to tell them to. I didn't ask for no money. You don't know. What you know is how you feel, what you think. So a conscious spiritual path, connecting with your ancestors, doing your forgiveness, spiritual practice is a selfish act. You're doing it for you. When you do it for you, your muscles, your mind is clear. Your muscles are strong. The way you move around life, you've developed the strength, the mental clarity. You've lost the weight of BS. You can socialize. You can connect with people. You're connected. You've tapped into deeper wisdom because you are showing up in the spiritual gym on a regular basis. You have a choice to show up in the gym and not do anything and sit in the reception area. Like, no, yeah, I know. It all sounds all well and good. But, I've been loving people all this time. Let me not go ahead of myself. Actually, love is the next thing that I have on my note. But nothing is changing. Well, if you love somebody and you say you've been doing it for a long time and nothing changes, you might want to ask yourself, are you really loving them? Or ask yourself, how are you loving? And what eyes are you looking with? Are you looking with eyes of love? Or telling yourself you're loving, but looking with eyes of judgment, eyes of criticism? Bridget said, thank you, Bridget, for sharing that. Let me maximize this. Bridget said, where is it? I'm learning to forget white supremacy in myself so I can heal 7 generations forward and back. Woo, thank you. Thank you. A spiritual journey. You've heard me I say this quite often. Life is not for wimps, and a spiritual journey is for gladiators. And I was going to make a point earlier, and I'm recognizing that I didn't finish that thought, but I don't know if I can link it I think that's why it came back to me. Ministry, doing what you do because your soul is reminding you, calling you to show up as that. It's not always easy. So as human beings, sometimes not sometimes, we're so conditioned to drama that we're looking for drama. We're looking for, oh my God, who's doing what? Who's talking about what? Where's the gossip? What's going on? Did you see this? Did you see that? Oh my God, people are just full of crap. People don't say crap, they say other things. We hear noise, we're looking for something to happen. It's like, oh my God. We see on the news, they say if it bleeds, it leads. We're conditioned. But this inner work, I want to tie it in with what Bridget just shared, which is really powerful. It's true. I mean, that itself is lifting the tools in the spiritual gym. It's like, I'm learning to forgive white supremacy. Oh, and your fitness trainer known as life, or somebody, a person, or a friend, or your wise self is like, push one more, try some more, okay, take a breath, relax. Okay, I'm learning to forgive white supremacy. Now, the thing about ministry, consciously living a spiritual journey, I'll call it practical spirituality, why it's so hard and difficult, is because it causes you to let go of some beliefs and some ideas that you're holding on to make yourself look good, or make you look a certain kind of way so you don't feel too vulnerable. This conversation about God, this conversation about the divine, this conversation about going within, we can always say, "Ooh, yes, that's the that post, that part. Oh yeah, I needed to hear that today." When you apply the thing that you say you need to hear today, it sometimes strips you to your core. It takes you to a place of vulnerability. See, when you find yourself doing what seems difficult, like forgiving white supremacy, so you can heal, as Bridget said, heal 7 generations forward and backwards, guess who benefits first? You. You tap into this deeper wisdom. You become more powerful, just your presence. You become a healer that creates the space for others to heal just by showing up through your words, through your songs, through your stories, through your questions. We can't heal the BS in the world with the same mindset that created it. We have to transcend it. We have to tap into the truth of who we are. Forgiveness takes you there. Forgiveness is never about saying what they did was right. It's recognizing they didn't know who they were. They don't know who they are. They forgot. Because if they remembered, if they know who they are, they wouldn't have done that. And I refuse to join in that forgetfulness by continually be mad, be angry, and not doing my work, and not going to the spiritual gym on a regular basis so I could be less angry, less mad, and bring the energy of love, the energy of compassion, the energy of healing that I want to see, and be it. Some of the things beyond white supremacy, which sometimes can be a distraction from us doing the real work, some of the struggles that we go through in the world is because we don't want to do the work. We see it. We call out people. We stand up. We show up. But we still also keep doing the work. We do it side by side. When you're in the spirit, just like a regular gym, the spiritual gym will cause you to let go. It's sometimes painful. You show up. You got to bring your innocence. The root word innocence comes from a Latin word, innocence, which means to be harmless, not cause harm. Unwounded. It's pure. Forgiveness allows you to bring your innocence, and the power of your innocence can heal generations backwards and forwards, maybe for more than 7. You get to heal the past and the present your innocence. When you show up and you're feeling vulnerable, which comes from a Latin word, vulnerable comes from a Latin word, what is it? Wounded. You know, when you're feeling vulnerable, it's like, oh my God, sometimes there's a tendency to want to protect it, hide it. Like, I don't want to be vulnerable. I don't want to show up as vulnerable. But spiritual vulnerability, when you step into that consciousness, is knowing that in your vulnerability, you're connecting with your innocence. And you can trust it more when you keep doing the work, when you're showing up in the spiritual gym, doing your spiritual practice, meditating, forgiving. Vulnerability, spiritual vulnerability, let's qualify it as that. It's not weakness. It's actually where your power is. And sometimes when you speak from that place, from that space, people will hear you because you speak into their woundedness and it resonates and you become a healing agent, or you become the space or the place or the face of God that allows them to heal. It sounds counterintuitive. It sounds like, yeah, I hear all that. We don't want to go there because to do this spiritual work, it will strip you naked. The process is to strip you of the BS, strip you of the stories, strip you of the narratives that are not supporting you. Just strip you so you can get to a place where you show up naked and unafraid. And you get to a place where you can honestly know and feel, yea, I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil. I will fear no evil because I am one with God. I am in God. God is in me. I am the place where God gets to show out. So because I've been going to the gym, working out my spiritual practice, meditating, forgiving, loving myself and others, even if it looks like a shadow, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Oof, there's a shadow. Oof, what is that? It looks like a monster. Oh, the monster's in my head. Oh, wait, the shadow's there because I'm casting light. Because I have intentionally worked out in the spiritual gym. Nanda said, I love today's show. I am ready to be willing. Oh, I'm willing to be willing to forgive white supremacy. So grateful you're speaking about spiritual vulnerability. Now, I want to highlight something you said there, which could be easily missed, Ananda. Rev, that's awesome. I am ready to be willing. Rev Dio speaks about that. Like, if you're not willing to forgive white supremacy, are you willing to forgive white supremacy? That could be where you start. If you're not willing, are you willing to be willing? Are you willing to be willing to be willing to forgive? You can go as far back as you need to, but the thing is, if you're saying, nope, hell flipping no, that says a lot about you. And that energy as well, it's actually what keeps the energy, that white supremacy alive. Because when we are not willing, ready to shine the light of love, the light of truth, the light of vulnerability, the light of forgiveness, and something that we want to end, it grows. You know, when you do your work, when you allow the light of truth to shine through you, you become like a weed killer to what is not needed. You get to transform that energy. But if you refuse to do it, you just might be contributing to more of it. And it could also take you to a place where you get to see and feel and know and remember that, okay, I'm resistant because there's something in me that wants to be seen. Well, maybe this is not mine. Maybe this is actually something from my ancestry. Then you might need to do a different kind of work before you even get to forgiveness. some ancestral work, some grief work, coaching, therapy, to get to the energy, the invisible, where you get to make the invisible energy visible. Most of what we're dealing with on a human level, no matter how horrible it is, whether we call it evil, is because there's an energy that wants to be seen. There's an emotion that wants to keep moving, wants to be transmuted. But when we refuse to shine the light of truth on it, because we have to align with the truth in order to shine the light of truth, when we refuse to do that, that energy just grows and grows. And then they said, I appreciate the ancestral healing power and the spiritual work that strips off the BS. Yes, we're all here. The spiritual journey, really, the spiritual path, this conscious spiritual journey is allowing yourself to get stripped naked. Naked and unashamed. Because when you're stripped naked, you're stripped, and what shows up is more of your innocence, your spiritual vulnerability. Have you looked at a baby? A baby that just looking. The baby's not trying to seek your love, don't necessarily want you to do anything. The baby's just looking. And we would say, oh, that baby is so beautiful, so cute. But there is a power that we are recognizing that we call cute. We're seeing an innocence, seeing a vulnerability. And generally speaking, the world is afraid of what we see as vulnerable. The world is afraid of children. The world is afraid of females because we're afraid of the divine feminine. We see children and women as weak. We say man as strong. So in order to have a balanced world, men need to take it down a notch because women are weak. Not true. I follow an account on IG. What is it? Badass birther or something like that. And most of her posts is showing women giving birth, natural birth. Whether the birthing is natural or not, I mean, this is going to sound weird, but I was going to say, I've been around a lot of women. I've seen women, I have family members, people that I'm close to, women that I know what they're experiencing is very painful. But the way they move through it's like, oh my God, women have a high threshold for pain. I sometimes think it's because women are the one that give birth. Giving birth, oh my God. There's so many places I can go with that. I won't. But what I will say, because I can, how does a baby, a 6'5", forget it, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pound baby come out of that little hole? And the woman is still alive. Woo! Yeah, let's just go there. Let's, as a society that's constipated, sometimes we just can't even let go enough because we think it's too painful. I can't forgive. Oh my God, it hurts. And we're talking about less than a pound, maybe a pound coming out. Try not to be too graphic, but it's real. It's real. The society is afraid of the power. No, I don't want to say the power of a woman, of femininity, of what we perceive to be vulnerable. And this is not, there are people saying that I don't come into that category. That's no, I'm talking about that energy. If you say you're genderless, non-binary, there's still that energy. All of us, there's a feminine energy from the mother, masculine energy from the father that came together for us to be here. And when the feminine and the masculine comes together, you birth a new reality. Love is feminine and powerful. Forgiveness is all the spiritual qualities, I believe, are feminine energy. That's why we're afraid to go there sometimes. It's in that place that's unseen, unknown, in the dark. So we're afraid of the dark. It takes courage to just be still sometimes when someone pisses you off. But you have to keep breathing because you're in the spiritual gym. And then maybe you get to a place where you're willing to forgive, willing to be more compassionate to yourself, willing to trust the process of your life. The benefits for you. Now, by default, other people are going to reap the benefit because you did the work, because we did the work. And when we come to the work that we're doing as an activist, as a mother, as a teacher, as a healer, as a police officer, as a doctor, when we come to the work with the mindset of doing the inner work, it's a whole different reality. I have a family member who talks about her doctor, and she talks about her medical doctor like, I just love him. She says, I love him, the way he talks, and he doesn't make a big deal. If he notices that, she says, if you notice that I put on weight, he just say, well, yeah, it's fine. Doesn't say it's fine like that, but it doesn't go, oh my God, look, you're putting on a little bit of weight. Oh, you're getting old. Ooh, those eggs ain't gonna last. There's none of that. The medical institution, I mean, they probably do it now, but I remember reading something where, I don't know, maybe I was watching a documentary where doctors back in the day, maybe even now, we're not taught nutrition. We're not taught about nutrition. Can you imagine? How could you say you're a doctor? You're here for the well-being of people, but you don't even talk about, I mean, some of them still don't talk about nutrition. It's medication. Thankfully, there are doctors who are doing the work, who understand that there are more than just being a doctor, that they are here to serve humanity. They're here because they're agreed to be here. They're here because they have a gift, a talent. They're here on a mission. There's an intelligence in them to do no harm, to come from that place of innocence, to join with another and recognize the God in them because they recognize the God in themselves. And there are those who say, you know what? I want to be a naturopathic doctor. And it all belongs. What are the tools? Sometimes the tools to help you get stronger, to develop your core, your spiritual core, it's just people in your life, as I was talking about earlier. The people in your life will trigger you, will cause you pain, so that you can decide and take action to embrace more compassion, to develop your compassion muscles, to commit to your healing. I feel like if we surrender more, if we commit more to working out with the tool called love, how it's showing up, not just the God love, the divine love, the brotherly love, the family love, self-love, and constantly go to the gym. You're already in it, and keep working out that muscle. It covers all. It covers all. One of the other tools that's sometimes difficult is money and paying bills. If you sit with it long enough, set your intention to grow, to develop your muscles, you will grow your prosperity muscles, your abundance muscles. That reminds me. So the topic of this show. I've done a show before where I said something about life as a gym or something like that. But Rev D, even though she's not here, I've mentioned her so many times today. Rev D did a lesson sermon about 2 weeks ago, and she called it "Life is a Spiritual Gym," which is what we were going to talk about. But last minute, she had another meeting, as I said. So if you missed it, she had a meeting last night. Well, today that she had to reschedule, so she'll be back next week. But one of the things she said, I wrote that down. I want to quote it correctly. She talks about those of us in the spiritual community sometimes. Where is it? Okay, I'm going to paraphrase it because I can't find it. But maybe I practice my prosperity, my patience muscles. There we go. See? And so she said, we can work on ourselves and get big prosperity muscles. But we end up with little love legs. Chew on that for a minute. So in the spiritual gym, we may work on the prosperity muscles, like, yes, prosperity. But we're not working on the love aspect of life. So you have this prosperity muscles, you have the prosperity abs, all developed, well defined, but your love legs, your love muscles are weak. Because you're like, I'm saving my love. I don't know that love thing. Love don't work for me. We got to work the whole body. And if you really want a shortcut that keeps you busy for the rest of your life, choose love and work on that. And love would inspire you, will remind you, will guide you. And okay, that's enough of that. Go do this. Love is tapping into divine wisdom. Love is recognizing, knowing that you're part of a master plan. Love is self-love. Love is rest. Love is sometimes choosing to shut up and go deep down and listen. And whether we choose to engage intentionally in the spiritual gym or not, life is going to keep coming at us to get your behind in the gym. You're carrying too much weight. You're getting foggy. You can get clearer if you get in that gym and just stop for a minute and breathe. Don't be afraid of the dark. Don't be afraid of the feminine energy. That's what this work is about. This work is about going into the invisible and making the invisible visible. And more importantly, or just as important, practical spirituality, which is what all of this is about. When you're practicing practical spirituality, when you're practicing practical spirituality, it takes you inside of yourself and it empowers you to love the part of you that you judge, the part of you that you struggle to be with, a part of your body that you just have to cover up with a makeup, with an outfit, because you think it doesn't look as good. It could be your nose, it could be your leg, it could be your head, it could be your breast, it could be your butt, it could be your shoulders, it could be whatever. Remember this. When you're judging a part of your body, when you're judging, criticizing a part of your body, when you're judging, criticizing yourself, you're judging, criticizing the divine. You're judging the creation. You're judging creation. You're judging your ability to create. Your body's your creation. You're judging it. When you judge your creation, you can't trust your creation. You can't love your creation. It's a process, it's a journey. But we can choose today. We can keep the process moving forward by recognizing that there are aspects, there's some muscles that I need to work on that I've been avoiding. There are people that I can't stand, but I didn't even know. I thought I was loving them, but really, listening to this conversation right now, I know that I cannot stand there, you know what. And I'm willing to be different. I'm willing to speak the truth. I'm willing to tap into the part of me that's innocent, the part of me that is wise, the part of me that's connected to deeper wisdom. I'm willing to ask for help. I'm willing to say, no, I don't know how to do that. I'm willing to say, I need help. It's, you know, it takes strength to ask for help. It really does. It takes strength to ask for help. And even though you may feel vulnerable when you ask for help, guess what? In your vulnerability, you're opening up. You're opening yourself up so that the wound can heal. I was saying earlier that vulnerability comes from a Latin word that means wound. So when you're willing to express, maybe not even express, give your vulnerability space, you're giving yourself the chance to heal that, to trust that. There's nothing wrong with your vulnerable self. It's actually your connection to your innocence. Your innocence is the divine, is God. It's the powerful self that is you. It is the source of healing. And when you're living from that space, you move through life differently. You live your legacy while you're alive. You don't wait to die to say, this is a legacy you left with people. No, you're living it right now. Something else I want to share before we go. See if I can find it, because here it is. It's a quote. No matter what you're going through and growing through, trust the process. Why? I'm going to tell you why. Give me a moment. So this quote is credited to someone called Layla, Lalah, Delia. I don't know who she is. I'll Google it after the show. Grapes must be crushed to make wine. Diamonds from under pressure. Diamonds form under pressure. Olives are pressed to release oil. Seeds grow in darkness. Whenever you feel crushed, under pressure, pressed, or in darkness, you are in a powerful place of transformation and transmutation. Grapes must be crushed to make wine. Diamonds form under pressure. Olives are pressed to release oil. Seeds grow in darkness. Whenever you feel crushed, under pressure, pressed, or in darkness, you are in a powerful place of transformation and transmutation. Layla Delia? That's an interesting name. I'll Google it later. Think about that. What are you going through? What are you growing through? Or maybe you know somebody going through and you're feeling sad and feeling like, why is this happening to them? They're a good person. They're in a powerful place of transformation, of transmutation. For something to be birthed, something has to die. Transformation, death happens, and you're made new. The old must be released. And the work that you put in determines what you get on the other end. The consciousness that you put into the work that you're doing determines what you get on the other end. How you do the work determines what's on the other end. The consciousness that you bring to what you're doing determines what's on the other end. Determines the result. If you want to see more love, start with more love. If you want to experience more forgiveness, start forgiving. If you want people to be more patient, more compassionate, start with those. We are mirrors for one another. Life is a spiritual gym. You already have a membership. There's a lifetime membership. If you're feeling flabby in the prosperity zone or the faith zone or the trust department, do the work. Push, breathe, trust. Healing is in your hands. Your healing is in your hands. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. And I want to take this moment to just thank those of you who give donations, who exchange energy. You share because of what you're getting over here. You share because you're tithing. You share because you want to give a love offering. Thank you. It's always a pleasant surprise, like, oh, and especially my PayPal email actually now fixed it, had an issue. So, and I wasn't getting notification when a donation is made through PayPal. And so when I go in PayPal to transfer some money, I'm like, oh, I got more money than I thought. Thank you for surprising me. Thank you. And for those of you who are thinking, oh, PayPal, he has a PayPal account? I did not know that. Oh, yes, I do. PayPal.me/Ade Anifowose. Ade, ADE. Anifowose, ANIFOWOSE. Same on Venmo. Cash App, the pound sign, not dollar sign, the pound sign. Pound sign Life Coach Ade. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for doing your work. Thank you for keep doing the work. We're here to do the work. We're here to show up. So if you're praying for help, praying to connect with your higher self, asking for an angel, you're it. When you recognize yourself as it, you connect to all the itness, all the other angels, all the wisdom keepers, the love agents, the change agents, because you match their vibration. Now, I'm not going to say that if you don't match the vibration, you won't connect with your higher good. Sometimes when you don't know and you say, I need help, you allow your vibration to rise. Because I need help. I don't know what to do. That's a form of surrender. When you surrender, you lose the weight of confusion. You feel lighter. You feel grounded. You are most welcome, Ananda. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. I bless you. I appreciate you. And I thank God for you. I'm sure some of you, if not all of you, got some aha moments. You had some things like, I never saw it that way. First thing I want to say is when you experience an aha moment, when you have a light bulb go off, I strongly recommend that you do something to embody it. Put it into action. Don't just say, wow, that was light bulbs. Because if you don't integrate it, if you don't embody it, if you don't put it into action, it's easy to forget. It's easy to forget. My brother, Jean-Baptiste. Nice to see you all the way from, I used to think you were in Rwanda. Where are you again? It's not Rwanda. Can't remember. Thank you for your love. We're with you. Love to you and your family as well. So when the light bulb goes off, write it down, journal about it, practice it, put it into action. Reach out to your accountability partner. Tell them so they can hold you accountable. Or let's work together. Let's do some transformative healing work. Because my work is coaching in spiritual direction and going deep. What gives me life is working with people who are on a spiritual journey, who are ready. I can work with people who are new on the journey, but the ones that excite me, that give me life, like, you know the work. You know what you're here to do. And you're recognizing that the areas that needs to be refined and defined. lifecoachade.com, lifecoachade.com. What's the other thing I wanted to tell you? Something about that. Oh yeah, join my mailing list. And tomorrow, Wednesday, join Ricky Bias and myself for Soul Fulfilling, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. UK time. How do you get there? Go to youtube.com/Ricky Bias. youtube.com/Ricky, RICKY. No. Wait a minute now. Because people be spelling it wrong. And I'll be like, yeah, they be spelling with a Y. Where's Ricky's name? Yeah, okay, yeah. I don't know what just happened. They spell it with a Y, RICKY. And in my head, I'm like, that's not, you should know her name by now. So it's RICKIE, Ricky Bias. Every Wednesday, or you can catch the replay. If you know anybody, whoops, that's not the one. Yeah, those are your ancestors coming to visit. You want to start a podcast, or know anyone who has a podcast, want to start a podcast, or looking for a podcast hosted site and want to try something different, libsyn.com, libsyn.com. Go there, check it out, look at the services they offer. And if you decide to sign up, use the promo code ADE, ADE. That will give you a whole month free. If you sign up today, August 2nd, you get the whole of August free, and then the whole of March. If you leave it to the middle of August, you get whatever's left, 2 weeks in August, and the rest of September. Don't sign up on the 1st, whatever you do. Once again, I love you, I bless you, I appreciate you, and I thank God for you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being another me. I am you. You are me. I am me because you are you, because of who you are. Remember, whatever you do, however you do it, be who you are. Show up for life. Life is inviting you to show up and show out. Peace and blessings.
Be who you are.